This next question, number 20, and I believe there's one or two others as well. It asks about your area forecast region. Okay. Now, looking at these, you may wonder, well, what's my area forecast region? Are you actually talking about the area forecast, my general weather region? What are you talking about? And in fact, I am talking the area forecast region. So let's go back up to our tab with the Aviation Weather Center homepage, so aviationweather.gov again. We'll come over on the left side to the standard briefing once again. And the standard briefing, as a reminder, is a tool to help pilots before flight. And in this particular page, the information is presented in the approximate order that the pilot would receive it if he was actually calling for this information for a pre-flight briefing. So let's look at the en route portion down in the middle of the page where it says area forecast. Go ahead and we'll click on that, and we can see the aviation area forecast regions. Okay, based on your geographic location, either where you live or where you're currently staying for the night, if you're out flying, visiting someone else, whatever. Just pick that location and you're going to answer these questions. So yeah, I'm in Salt Lake City, so I'm going to use the Salt Lake City region. But you also need to look at perhaps some others if there is no, if you've got a long flight. I realize that this is just for our purposes of answering questions. We're going to actually use Miami today because of the lack of any real significant information in the Salt Lake City region. Okay, so we'll go back to the standard briefing page, and I want to pull up under the synopsis the radar summary chart, and this one we will use the PDF. Okay, now as we look at this, you can see things are pretty quiet in the Salt Lake region. Let's go down into the Florida area. We'll zoom in so that we can give you a good look. We'll actually zoom in even a little bit further, right in the middle of this page. Okay, so a couple of things that I want you to be aware of. I'm looking for general descriptions. Technically, this is probably not much of a thunderstorm since it's only 19,000 feet. That's not to say you don't have to worry about the weather, but the range we're looking in on these thunderstorms, when we start getting into the mid-20s and higher, we're significant buildup. Now, depending on the part of the country you're from, a 19,000 foot storm can still be significant. The cumulus, it's also obviously got vertical development, so you need to be aware of this. I'm probably not going to take my Cessna 172 or perhaps 182 turbocharged would get up there at 15,000 feet through the middle of this cumulus cloud if I can help it. There's probably some icing in there as well as some turbulence. So generally speaking, though, this is what I'm talking about. I'm looking for significant heavy precip or higher with these thunderstorms, particularly the TR. Notice the absence of the T in this group. This has the T and the RW. The RW is the showers. The T is for thunderstorms, so we've got thunderstorm and rain showers. If we look up here, we've got a TRW for this portion, so it's kind of questionable. This is rain showers. I would be a little cautious with this if I was flying through it. I'd want to have either some onboard radar or for tactical, but for my preference, I'd personally like the strategic, like the XM Weather, even better when I'm in a small airplane. I just want to go around it. So anyway, if you look at this area, I want you to describe this somehow. Now, a couple ways we could describe it. It's basically a solid line of thunderstorms that extends from central western Florida, the central part of Florida off to the east coast. I mean, you want to do something. I don't want you to, again, rack your brain trying to think of the way to describe it, but just give me the gist of it. So we'll go in here. Within your forecast region, are there any thunderstorms? Yes, there are. Okay, what is the location, intensity, direction of movement, and speed? Okay, well, we have in this case, solid line extending from the Tampa area to north central Florida, and I realize that may not be exact, and there's our location, and we've got a couple. We definitely have some heavy, and it looks like we've even got a couple areas of extreme. This one's, it's a little bit tough to see right now. Heavy to extreme precipitation. And again, you can go back and review, but based on how many lines, the level of scalloped lines you've got here, or excuse me, solid lines that you've got built in, we can tell the intensity. As far as direction of movement, we're moving north east at about 50 knots. You can tell here by these arrows, the 49, we're moving north to northeast at about that 50 knots. And the squall line question, this actually, in this case, pertains to last described storm. I don't know if we have any other solid. Again, a squall line is a solid line, so we've got one there. We can see if we've got any other solid. We have a little bit of one here. There's also a little tiny area here where the hand is. If we zoom in, we've got that little area of solid. But these really aren't I wouldn't classify them as squall lines like you would this. Okay. And even this, you know, we may have to go back and see if they actually describe it as a squall line. But this is certainly something to be dealt with. And we've got tops near 50,000 feet. And that's something we can put in here as well.